Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Augie Tech, and I'm just making a video here on about my Homelab, something that I've been working on for probably about a year now. I'm just kind of going through and seeing what's works and what doesn't work, and kind of like what's been useful and helpful to me. Um, One of the things that I want to get into is Seam. That's why I have this Wazuh LXC container. B- been looking at it. I have a few things plugged into it, but I haven't been looking too far into it. Just kind of testing the waters on this one. I've been using Vaultwarden since like day one. Probably one of the best things I ever did. However, I even will push people to get Bitwarden because it's only like $10 or $12 a year. Um, Great program. Cloudflared for the Cloudflare tunnels. This is one of the best and easiest ways to get HTTPS on your Homelab without having to do much effort on there. Prometheus is actually something new that I've been getting into. This is the exporter for the Proxmox environment itself. And it's very useful in this sense and very lightweight, super easy. Uh, Pelican Wings and Panel, self-hosting game servers. You know, playing with my buddies, playing with my brothers. It's really simple stuff. That's all I kind of use it for. Nothing else. iVentoy is something I use at my job. Previously, it's something that I've actually like a lot. I currently don't have it set up because I know the power that it can have on a actual good router instead of a consumer router. And so currently I have it turned off because I don't really have a need for it at the moment, but I will want it to fully set it up properly um, once I have my MikroTik in place. Next thing is actually Alpine Nextcloud. And one of the biggest things that I've ran into and something I wish that I knew when I first started doing home labbing is Alpine containers, while they save a lot of resources, the compatibility with other software and sources is not as good and it's a lot harder. For example, Wazuh can't connect into this as easily. You can point a log to it, but you can't actually install the Wazuh agent on it, which is something that I want to do. And one of the biggest things that was for me, because I have a lot of documents on here. As you can see, I have just 500 gigs on right there, 244 already used. I utilize it quite a lot. Um, and so one of the things that actually prompted me to get back into Wazuh, because I had initially removed this, but I was kind of had like the light at the end of the tunnel, was OpenCloud. OpenCloud is a alternative to Nextcloud, but it doesn't want to be anything other than just a file. You know, just a file server. Doesn't want to be too much more than that. Just wants to allow you to open your files, use your files, do what you can. Where Nextcloud wants to be this whole Google Suite, Teams, enterprise replacement. And it's just honestly a nightmare in an enterprise environment, with all the OCC commands you have to keep on top of, and just kind of like little nuances with using Nextcloud. And that might just be due to my naivety. But overall, um, I think I have nothing but praise for OpenCloud and kind of what the product that they've had and like what they've built so far. It's been amazing. I've only moved over kind of just like important documents. I have a lot of videos stored on this one, and so that's why that one's so big. Um, the next thing is Immich, which is also pretty big. I've currently only backed up my phone. I have a wife, and so I want to get her moved onto it. However, I don't have enough space because she'll eat up all 2 terabytes because that's what she currently has on her iCloud. So I want to move to bigger drives, which I've already moved to bigger drives, to 4 terabytes, but I want to move to 2 8 terabytes and then kind of just move from there of always adding to my ZFS pool of 8 terabytes and just having them mirrored. There might be a better way to do that, or I might change kind of setup of that, but overall I think 8 terabytes is a good um, ground from what I've seen from like price to space ratio and everything, and seems pretty nice. Next is Caddy was actually another thing that I just started using. I was using NPM Plus, but Caddy has given me kind of just the cool factor, just kind of like the next like scratches that itch in my brain. Because I was able to plug it into my Forgejo, which is another amazing product, amazing piece of software that I enjoy using. And so, it all started with OpenCloud once I started doing some changes. Because for a while there wasn't really any of these things set up at all. Um, Kind of just these main ones up here, and then I had a RustDesk to help my family. Because I'm in IT, and so obviously, family IT as well. But um, getting back into it, Forgejo has allowed me to do the single file config that has actually like been so much nicer to set up. It's kind of what I've set up my snapshot scripts to run on, my automatic updates of the container, like the host, Debian or Alpine containers, to just make sure those are up to date. And then I'm working on implementing uh, the Proxmox community scripts update into it as well. So that way I can update the applications within the LXC container automatically as well, but that hasn't worked out quite as nicely as I've liked so far. So that's kind of just been on the back burner because I've had my snapshots. As you can see, my snapshots have just been working great this whole time and been giving me what I need, and it's been a lifesaver, especially when I mess around with something and it just doesn't work. It's like, well, I can just go back. Or for example, it's been very helpful for Nextcloud because Nextcloud always breaking on me. It was always breaking something with I used to have only Office hooked into Nextcloud, and honestly, like that was super cool at first, but then it was just a pain in the butt. Like Nextcloud just forces you to update, something would break, you had to go fix it out. Alpine nuances of just it's in a different location, finding where things go. Just became more of a mental burden than actually helping improve my life. And so I'll be moving everything from Nextcloud to OpenCloud. Uh, but yeah, going back to Caddy, Caddy has been given like the whole pipeline of uh, Git pipeline of using a Git and just a single Caddy file, and being able to make changes that way has been super awesome. Makes it super easy to see and kind of just for me to mentally visualize, okay, this is everything I have, this is everything I can use, this is everything that's in use. And it's been great. I was able to just basically move everything from my NPM Plus instance to my Caddy instance. It's been awesome. Trilium, it's my notes. I kind of want to get off of it, but I can't find anything that's more of just a website that you just get into. Because it really is just the the best for what I want it to do. Like, I don't need offline access. I just want something that looks good, that I can access from anywhere. I can access it from work. I can access it from, I don't know, while I'm on vacation. I can just access it. I have all the things, all the same things. There's no syncing. I just access a web page. And so it's been kind of like this underrated tool, in my opinion, that's not very talked about too much, that I've just absolutely um I love, but I wish it kind of had like those cool features. But it is something that just works pretty great. Forgejo, kind of like the whole backbone on like why I moved to Blocky, why I moved to Caddy, and actually started like Prometheus and Grafana. Because I kind of, when I do something, I kind of just go all in. And so I plugged in Caddy files with webhooks, Blocky with webhooks, on like Alpine or the Forgejo webhooks, so that way it just automatically pushes, gets it. I kind of want to look into the CI/CD workflow using the Forgejo runner, something I want to look into and get to working. Um, the iSponsor Block TV is actually something that I used just recently for my brother, so that way he could watch YouTube on our TV and it not have annoying ads, because it just automatically mutes. It's actually pretty fast. Not too sure security wise on this one. Um, but I've tried to minimize it as best I can, but not too sure if I trust this as much as I should. But Blocky, again, amazing, just like one config type of deal. I was using AdGuard. Honestly, nothing wrong with AdGuard, but once I moved to Caddy, I wanted to move to just kind of this whole workflow of everything's in my Forgejo. And so I moved to Blocky, was able to get all the same functionality. No no issues there. So, and it runs just as like on minimal resources, as you can see. So always an upside, because I'm not running the most RAM, not running. I do have like it's literally my old gaming rig is my server, and so I only had 32 gigs of RAM. Had to have those 4 sticks for the aesthetics reasons, but yeah, just a 5800X. I was silly, didn't realize there was a difference between the 5800X and the 5800X 3D. I don't know how I missed that. Normally I'm better than that, so, but it's been great. It usually just sits at 1%, less than 1%, occasionally hitting 2, 3. Unless I start running a or game server, I should say. Then it starts hitting the double digits, but it's been a great, solid processor in terms of like a Homelab server. Hermes agent, something I've just been getting into. It's been all right. My opinion on an AI is just it's a tool that's only just as good as the user using it. But it's been interesting. I think there's a lot of potential, but it has a long way to go. And definitely could just be, again, the user using it. I'm not using it to its full potential, especially because I don't have a full um I don't have a full interest in like setting up these agents to do all these crazy things that I at least hear about, but I don't see anybody doing too much with it with my own eyes, like in with people I know, at least. Like they do a lot of things, but I haven't seen like any real results of full on crazy things where it's like fully replacing workflows and there's no human needed. Like it just hasn't hit that point yet. I don't know if it will get there. But that's my opinion on AI. Hermes agent, super cool though. Definitely like tinkering with, because I don't want to be behind, because if I wasn't dabbling AI, we're not gonna get anywhere. So there we go. But yeah, RustDesk server really just used for family needs. Also, it was pretty nice. Actually moved to this from a free version of free something called Helpwire, which I'll probably just disable my account on Helpwire and clean that up because there's no reason. And RustDesk can be ran on Linux and it's great. Even though I'm currently on Windows, and it was only because I just recently got an OLED monitor and HDR support on Windows is a lot better, but I was on Arch Linux on Casio OS running a Noctalia shell, and so which was like honestly the best experience. But the only thing was I got an OLED 500 hertz monitor and I wanted the HDR, I wanted the full experience of OLED. So I'm on Windows now. But the problem I ran that forced me to, or not forced me, but my solution to my problem was RustDesk. Because I was on Linux and I needed to be able to help my brother with fixing something on his computer. OpenCloud, already touched on this. Great application. Great syncing from my phone to my computer to the server. Honestly, couldn't say anything bad about it. Haven't had any problems. Runs good, runs lean. It's great, exactly what I like. Prometheus, something I just got into. From my understanding, it's just like a database. And it makes it super easy to pull from all these servers and everything that you have a Prometheus exporter on, and Prometheus will just eat it up. Super cool. Something I just get into in Grafana for actually visualizing it. There's something super cool to see with Blocky, because AdGuard had those like whole dials and everything you could see was going on. And so something I was missing from Blocky was using having the kind of like overview and like visual feedback on that. And so Grafana kind of fills that gap within there. And so that was why I needed it and implemented it, and currently have multiple of these containers plugged into Grafana and working on getting that and dialing that in. But mainly my two biggest things are getting off of Alpine from this. And if you're going to get anything from this video, it's don't use Alpine. That's a trap. Because I haven't had any trouble with Forgejo or Vaultwarden, honestly, but Nextcloud, I've it was just more hassle than it was worth, in my opinion, for something of what I was using it for. But Wazuh dropping support for Alpine kind of just nailed in the coffin. I'll soon be migrating Alpine Forgejo to just normal Forgejo on Debian. I think it's Debian 12 or 13. And then I'll be doing the same thing with my Vaultwarden. And then I'll be moving all the files and everything off of Nextcloud into OpenCloud and removing that. But this will be my first video. I just wanted to showcase kind of what I've done with my Proxmox over the last year, and kind of just give you an idea of what I'm working with and what videos will be here to come. And thanks for watching.